Hi gang, Ray Glasser here once again from Cleveland, Ohio. It's a Tuesday, December the 27th of 2011, and I thought I'd do a little personal wrap-up of this year. It's been quite a year for me in many respects. We all have ups and downs every year, and this year has actually been filled with a lot of major ups and downs in my life, and I thought I would share them with you. About 7 o'clock at night, and I had the house to myself for a while, so I thought this would be a good time to do this video. Shirt I'm wearing I picked up at the CES this year in Las Vegas. Haven't even worn it yet, but I know it's kind of a boring white shirt, but I've got my green chroma key screen behind me here, which I'll be throwing in some videos now and then, and just some backgrounds to make this video a little bit more lively. So here's my personal review of the year 2011. For one thing, one major event this year, so to speak, this is actually my last year of video collecting. And this kind of winds up 35 years of being involved with collecting videos off TV. I'm collecting nothing off TV, no more TV series whatsoever. Not that there's nothing out there that might interest me, I just have lost interest in collecting them. The last series that I taped with any regularity was Smallville, which ended in the spring of 2011. I followed that series since it came on the air way back in 2001. And I saved maybe 80 episodes out of the 10 seasons that Smallville ran. Just my favorite 80 episodes. And that's the last series that I'm recording. You know, back in the late 70s, 80s, and even in the early 90s, it was like, we didn't have DVDs, we didn't even have pre-recorded VHS for a while, because I've been in video for so long. And it's like if you wanted to watch All in the Family, you had to tape it off TV. If you wanted to watch episodes of Maude, or Voyage of the Bottom of the Sea, or Time Tunnel, Outer Limits, Twilight Zone, any of those classic series, you had to tape it off TV and start your own collection. And that's what I did. Now, of course, you go up on the internet and you find them on DVD or even VHS, if need be, and you buy them or you download them. And this is how this hobby has changed so much in the 35 years that I've been involved in it. You know, this June actually marked the 35th year I got my first Sony Betamax, way back June of 1976, that's 35 years ago. And I've got about 2,500 beta tapes to show for it. My library is actually shrinking. I'm doing what a lot of people are doing now. I'm converting a lot of my more important videos to DVD, and I'm getting rid of my beta tapes. I've actually got a couple people that have come over the house and they've cherry-picked tapes off my wall, stuff they want, stuff that I just don't watch anymore, and out the door it goes. And either I just won't miss them because I just kind of lost interest in whatever was on that tape, or I've got it now on DVD. So things have changed immensely in 35 years. So that's one major thing this year. No more collecting off TV. I don't even have an HD DVR. I've got one of the first DVRs ever produced. It's the original replay that came out, I think, around 2000 or 2001. Doesn't record HD, and it does pick up my cable channels without a cable box, just direct line in, and I can record off of it. And I'll still do things like the New Year's ball dropping every year, and maybe like year-end reviews of the major events of each year. Once in a while, a special, but as far as network series TV, I have no interest in it whatsoever. That's just the way it's gotten. Something else that slowed down for me a lot this year besides video collecting has been uploading videos to YouTube. Not because I'm out of things to upload, but it seems people are losing interest in what I'm uploading. My videos, the number of hits that my video pages are getting are going way, way down on YouTube. And which I'll get into in a minute, but part of the reason is I lost my two biggest channels in October. And once those went, I'm getting very few hits on the channels that replaced them, and even my other channels. So now and then I'll upload videos if I find something I think might interest somebody, but it seems that what really gets a lot of hits these days, someone sits in front of the camera like I'm doing and does something crazy, uploads it, and they get 1,000 hits in 2 days. I've got videos of historic TV that I think are rare stuff. They don't get 40 hits in 6 months. So it's like, why bother? You know? Again, things are changing. That's all there is to it. I also changed cars twice this year. I've actually owned 3 different cars this year, which I'll get into later on in this video. The biggest event of the year for me personally was the fact that I retired in August. I finally have retired from working. I'm on Social Security and I'm getting a small pension from my union each month, and I am no longer working full-time, which is great. Something I've waited for all my life. And again, I'll explain more of that in detail in a few minutes. Something else that happened this year is I've heard from a lot of old friends. I've reconnected with a lot of people from my past this year, mainly thanks to Facebook. I've talked to people that I haven't talked to since 1970, 1968. People I worked with at McDonald's in Columbus when I was going to Ohio State, which was 1968 through 1972. People I worked for, old bosses, old friends, people I grew up with. I haven't talked to since the 60s. I've reconnected with. Just punching their name, and 10 to 1 they're on Facebook. If not, I find a link for them on the net. And I had a lot of long distance phone bills this year that were sky high because of reconnecting with old friends. And it's just amazing who you can find thanks to the internet. It really, really is. I'm going to do a quick month by month to kind of capsulize this year and go through the highlights. January, I went to the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas, something I do pretty much every year, and I have been since 1981. This may slow down. I actually canceled plans to go to the show next month in January of 2012 for a couple of reasons. But the big downside of this year was when I was attending the show in January, I actually had an abscess under my right arm. And I went to the hospital one night after the show, spent 4 hours in the emergency room, had to come back 2 days later for them to lance this thing and make sure it wasn't infected and all that. Turns out I'm okay, but the hospital's fighting me on the bill, and fighting my insurance company. Has been going on for almost a year now, which has been a super bummer. And I should find out the outcome of this fairly soon, whether I owe money or whether I don't. But the CES was fun as always, and I reconnected with another old friend at that CES, a former Cleveland disc jockey named Dick Liberatore, whom I used to listen to on multiple radio stations in Cleveland, WZAK, WHK, and Wixie 1260. And Dick actually moved to Las Vegas back in 1990, and he's enjoying it just as much as I did when I lived there. February, nothing big really happened. At the beginning of the year, I was still working for a rather large bakery on the east side of Cleveland. And in March, I actually bid on a new job there, a new job for me, shipping and receiving. I thought it'd be something different because I was working mainly in the packing area where I packed the bread. And I did fine on the computer part of shipping and receiving, but I did not like working the forklift. So I didn't like it. It made me crazy. So after about 4 weeks, I got out of that and went back to the packing area. At the end of March, I got my second car of the year. I began this year with a 1999 Buick Park Avenue that I bought way back in 2006. The car was beautiful, but it was hitting 135,000 miles by the time the year began, and was nickel and diming me to death. So, I actually forgot to talk about the Cadillac I got. Yeah, in January, I was still driving the Park Avenue. I decided to get something else, so I got I got a 2003 Cadillac Seville STS, gorgeous car, beautiful shape, with only 73,000 miles on it. Turns out it needed some major repairs, and the gas on that Northstar V8 was killing me, so I had to get rid of that car. I kept it for a total of 9 weeks, and in late March I traded it for a 2001 Buick Century Custom, which is what I'm currently driving. And the car's okay. It's very low mileage. It's only got like 57,000 miles on it, which is very low for a 10-year-old car. But I'm not happy with it. I'm looking for something better. I'm looking for something else. So eventually I'll find something else. April, nothing really went on. May, I had problems with my foot at work. Some of the jobs at this bakery involved a lot of walking. And my left foot has developed arthritis, something that you get when you get older. And it hurts me to walk. And one of my supervisors said, you have to do this job tomorrow that involved a lot of walking. I said, I can't do it. And they said, well, if you can't do it, we got to put you out on medical because we can't have you being harmed here. So that was my last day at the bakery. I talked to personnel, I talked to my doctor, I talked to my union, and they just kind of had me in limbo for a while to see if my foot could heal or if the doctor could cure me or whatever. In the meantime, I said, this is not going to work. I better start job hunting. 2 weeks after this happened, I found a job in a nursing home right here in Mentor. Washing dishes in the kitchen and doing some prep work and stuff. That lasted 2 weeks and I got fired. I just wasn't fast enough. They had this timeline. You got to have a certain thing done by a certain time, and if you got late on any of them, it messed up the rest of your day. So it was too much. It was crazy. The pay wasn't too bad, but what they asked of you was like just almost impossible. So that didn't last too long. In June, I decided I'm not going to be going back to the bakery, so I retired from the union, and I got my first pension check from them about a month later. July, I spent most of my time looking for full-time jobs and cars. Didn't turn out much of either. In August, I turned 64, and I thought, well, it looks like I'm not going to find a full-time job, so why don't I just retire? And I won't get as much Social Security as I would had I waited until I was 66, which is the full retirement age for my age group. And so I retired in August, and I received my first Social Security check at the end of October. It takes 2 years for it, two months for it to kick in.